Hi everyone, my name is Simoné and today we are going to be reading Hudson Hates School by Ella Hudson. Hudson loved making things. He liked painting pictures and building models and baking cakes. He liked sewing too. But there was one thing that Hudson really hated. And that was school. I hate school. Come on, Hudson. It was Friday morning, and Hudson remembered why he had especially not wanted to go to school that day. Spelling test today, Hudson. Whee! Hudson had not learned his spellings. Oh no! Miss French read out the words and Hudson felt his heart sink. The other children at his desk started to snigger. Ha ha! Hudson can't spell! Ha ha! Ha ha! I can't do this. Am I stupid? Ha ha! Next, they had to swap books and mark each other's spellings. This was what Hudson had been dreading most of all. Spelling test. Air, fair, stare, blow, snow, toe, no, enough, because, Wednesday. The bell sounded. It was break time. Well done, everyone, said Miss French. Now, when I read out your name, shout out your score and you can go outside and play. Ha ha! Ha ha! It came to Hudson's turn and everyone started to giggle. Hudson, it looks like you need some practice with your spellings. Please stay in with me at playtime for some help. For yet another Friday break time, Hudson was sitting inside, writing out his spellings. I hate school. Did you have a nice day? Stop, children. Bye! When he saw his mum at the gate, Hudson just couldn't hold in his tears any longer. I am never going back to school ever again. On the way home, Hudson told his mum about his horrible day and how he dreaded school. When they got home, the phone rang. It was Miss French. Oh no, am I in trouble? Hello, Miss French. The following Monday at school, a man came into the classroom with Miss French. He had a briefcase and was wearing a lizard tie. Hudson, this is Mr. Shapland. He is going to take you into the study room and give you a quick test. Hudson had had enough. No more tests! When Hudson had calmed down, he and Mr. Shapland went to the study room. This is a different kind of test, Hudson, explained Mr. Shapland. You won't be in trouble because there are no right or wrong answers. Mr. Shapland showed Hudson a series of pictures and asked him what he thought was missing from each of them. He had some funny shaped triangle blocks and he asked Hudson to make patterns with them. Mr. Shapland also recorded Hudson's results on a machine. This isn't so bad. the test wasn't bad at all. In fact, it was better than any Hudson had ever had. Mr. Shapland explained to Hudson why he found it hard to learn as quickly as his classmates. It was because he had a learning difficulty called dyslexia. Dyslexia affects people differently. Often, they tend to be more creative than others. Mr. Shapland's brain. People that do not have dyslexia use the left side of their brains for sorting out words and numbers. They use the right side of their brain for creative tasks, like drawing and making things. They may find learning easier than people with dyslexia because their brain tends to use each side equally. Hudson's brain. People with dyslexia don't balance the work between both sides of the brain. They use the right side of their brain for sorting out words and numbers. They may find all of those things difficult because their brains have to work up to 6 times harder than someone without dyslexia. A week later, the school arranged for Hudson to have some of his lessons in a different classroom. The other children there also had dyslexia. For these lessons, they had a new teacher who had lots of fun and exciting ways to help them to learn. Soon, Hudson's schoolwork really improved. At last, school wasn't something that Hudson hated. He actually began to quite like it. True! Hi, Hudson! Hi! Dyslexia is a learning difficulty that mainly affects reading and spelling. People with dyslexia tend to have difficulties in dealing with word sounds and problems with short-term verbal memory, sequencing, and organization. Its effects may be seen in spoken and written language. Studies suggest that, in dyslexic people, the connections between different language areas of the brain do not work as well as they should. These differences are not linked to intelligence, and many dyslexic people have strengths and abilities in tasks that involve creative and visual thinking. Dyslexic people usually find it difficult to work with the sounds of spoken words, and many have difficulties with short-term memory. This means that it is more difficult for them to spell and sound out words. Dyslexia is not the same as a problem with reading. Many dyslexic people learn to read, but have continuing difficulties with spelling, writing, memory, and organization. There are also people whose difficulties with reading are not caused by dyslexia. Dyslexia can also cause problems in maths. Dyslexia should not be a barrier to achievement and success if it is properly recognized, and steps are taken to provide suitable teaching and training. Thank you so much for listening to this book, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã lắng nghe. Mong rằng các bạn cảm thấy thú vị khi đọc cuốn sách này cùng tụi mình. Cuốn sách nói Read Along Book này được thực hiện bởi Lotus Community, là một dự án thư viện phi lợi nhuận. Lotus Community mong muốn những cuốn sách tiếng Anh chất lượng tốt có thể tới tay mọi gia đình khắp đất nước Việt Nam. Để tìm hiểu thêm về dự án, các bạn vui lòng ghé qua lotuscommunity.org.vn nhé.